Hey, this is AJ Jones, for those of you that don't know me. But I've been here at the Joyce agency for 26 years, and what we're going to do today is take a little tour of the Chantilly Warehouse. Okay, we're going to do a little walk around the warehouse. Uh, I'm not sure if you're aware, we also have a warehouse down in Newport News. It's probably about 30%, 40% the size of this one, so this is the mothership. We keep roughly $500,000 worth of drain inventory in here at all times. We get a stock truck, which is normally around 15 to 18 skids every 2 to 3 weeks to resupply. The factory is in North Carolina, which is also very convenient. That way, if we don't have it, we're only talking an extra day out of Carolina. So we have a lot of tools at our disposal. We can move things between Chantilly and Newport News, which we often do. Just depends on the situation, what someone needs. But normally we can take care of it as long as there isn't a nationwide shortage. Right now we're over here. If you look to the left, this is mainly our roof drains. You can see the domes here, sump receiver pans on the floor, our flashing collars. We have some overstock of the bodies up on the shelves. We keep our overflow collars in these crates. We also, Watts likes us to put the flashing clamps on the roof drains before we ship them. Makes for less losing parts. It makes it easier on you out in the field that you're not installing this hardware on them. So over here you can see on the floor where we've pre-made some 3, 4, and 6 inch. We've already put the clamps on them just to save some time. Just a little prefab thing we do here. This is an interesting piece here. We call this an extension pan. It's extreme. It's basically like a sump receiver pan, except it's extremely rigid. So instead of doing your traditional extension on your roof drain where you're using what I call the whirly-bird threaded extension with the O-ring in the middle, you can actually physically move that body. You can put this on the deck and physically move that body above the insulation and then bring your membrane in. It's very useful. We do have guys that like to, just because it's so rigid and you can secure the body to the pan, they like to prefab them and they'll use it just as a standard sump receiver and actually bolt that body into the pan, and they can carry it up on the roof or throw them in a crate, get them up on the roof, and just zip it right into the deck and move on. So it has a lot of good uses. It's a very nice product. All right, over here to our right, and I think Alex is going to pan over here. Over here on the floor, you'll see 3 crates. The crate on the right is our double fittings. There's roughly 36 in there right now. You'll see 2 sitting here on the floor that have been cut. Those are rights and lefts with the overstock behind them. Each of those overstock crates has 80 fittings in it. So you can see how much we're keeping here. Up on the racks are the verticals. We just pull them down when we need them. As you know, most of the time it's going to be a horizontal fitting. Over here you can see where we prefab some of those RD700s I talked about earlier, just to keep them for a quick ship type deal where somebody needs them 911. Okay, we'll move on over here to the next aisle. You'll see some other stuff in here. You can see we keep a good amount of backflow preventers. These are the bigger ones. These are 2.5, 3, and 4. Over here to the left, we have a bunch of 6 inch. All right, now we're going to go down this aisle. A lot of what's on this aisle is the Orion product, the acid waste. You'll see the couplings on the floor and the fittings. But down here to your right, this whole aisle is nothing but floor sinks. 10 inch, 8 inch, 6 inch deep, 12 by 12. We got some 8 by 8s. Over here on the left, we have some round versions of the floor sinks. And then you'll also start to see some grease traps. The larger ones we keep up high. But we keep a good amount of the grease traps too. Again, we'll have some more. We got some more Orion product you see here. We have the nickel bronze tops for the floor sinks over here to your right. These are the porcelain tops for them. So basically we keep the square stuff on the right and we keep the round stuff on the left. Running here to the shipping desk, this is where all the magic happens, where we greet everyone. All right, over here is where we're getting into your basic floor drains. We keep right here near the door. Again, Watts sends us everything in parts, so we have to assemble basically every drain that comes in here. But as we do with the roof drains, we prefab a bunch of, this is like your standard Z415, Smith 2005. Of course, we call them FD100s. This is where we've already assembled the collars onto them, so if we get an order for 15 or 20, we can do it like that. And we basically keep this up every day. If we start running low, we'll build some to bring it back up so we can act quickly on an order. Over here, we just got some packing supplies for shipping over here to our left. So these are all the different size bodies here on the floor. Then we get into where we're keeping the standard A5 tops, A6 tops. Skipper's holding here a floor drain. This is another nice thing about what Watts does. Again, they're all epoxy coated, and they tap all the bodies, so you don't have to order, you don't have to specify you need a trap primer connection. They put them in all the smaller bodies, and then they just put a plug in it. This is a 2-inch push, and I know, like Smith, when you use a gasket, they always want to know is it cast iron or PVC pipe, because the way they work it is they put a back ring in here to stop the pipe. Watts puts a pipe stop in the body, so we don't have to ask you what kind of pipe you're using. Service weight or PVC will push through here and just hit the stop. So again, they're epoxy coated, like I was mentioning before. They epoxy coat everything. So in fact, I can tell you, when we started doing the Watts product, a nice benefit of it was half the dust got cut down in the warehouse because all the parts are so clean. So that was a nice little aspect of it. Over here we have some cleanouts. On the shelf you'll see some bigger 6-inch, 8-inch stuff. But down here on the floor, these are your typical 4-inch push-on bodies here. Right behind this pallet is where all the tops are for them, the standard tops. We got 2-inch, 3-inch no hub. One cool thing I will show you about these are actually clean out bodies. So I'll show this to you real quick. Skipper, can you grab me a top out of that crate on your right? All right, so typically, this is our clean out top. And then Skipper's grabbed our regular floor drain 5-inch top. Now typically this would go in that body with the clamping collar. But just to show you how modular this Watts product is, this is a clean out body. This is our clean out top. It of course is threaded in here to accept your closure plug. So we would typically put a closure plug in there and zing along with this. But this stuff's so modular, I can take this floor drain top and make this into a floor drain as well. This is a nifty little trick because, as you know, most of these floor drains don't go where they're clamping a membrane. And this thing actually has a part number, where the standard drain's an FD100, this is an FD200. And the only real difference is this one doesn't have a flashing clamp. So if you want to save some money, and you know you're not running a membrane, you can just order an FD200 instead of an FD100. So that's another nice part of the Watts product. It's very modular. So you get in a jam out on the job, and you need to make a clean out into a floor drain, and it's not hard. Just pull the closure plug out and put a floor drain top in it. The other nice part about this is, I'm sure you've seen floor drains from other manufacturers. This one has the longest shank I've ever seen. So if you got them where the guys poured them too low, you usually got a lot of forgiveness in here. And the other nice part is, this is 4-inch pipe thread. This isn't some funky diameter with some funky pattern where you can't interchange the parts. You can conceivably take this top and put it in a PVC female adapter and have a drain. So that's another nice aspect of this. So I kind of got on a tangent there, but you get the drift. These are our larger bodies. We use these for our bigger 12-inch top floor drains. Now, I will say this. Where the smaller bodies are tapped for trap primers, these larger ones are not unless you ask us. So the basic rule of thumb is if you're getting a floor drain with an 8-inch top or smaller, it's coming tapped with a trap primer connection. If we're going over an 8-inch top and you need a trap primer connection, just tell us. But this body has a variety of uses on a lot of different drains, but normally it's anything that's 12-inch or larger. And then the body is also used for our medium-sized roof drains. So it has a lot of uses. Smith 2120, I think it's like Zern 508, something like that. This is the top. The nice thing about the Watts tops, again, they're all epoxy coated, but this is the big thing. There isn't a standard duty, heavy duty, a ductile version, you know, of your area drain tops. Watts has one. It's ductile and it's heavy duty. So you don't have to worry, well, is this just in a mechanical room? Is it in the garage? You know you're getting a heavy duty one.
Why you got that vandal proof?
Yeah, and that's a good point, Skipper. Watts vandal proofs everything whether you want it or not. So as you can see, this one's been vandal proof. It just cuts down on the skews. It makes it easier to inventory. If you don't want it vandal proof, just take the screws out. So all area drain tops are going to be heavy duty out the gate. You're not looking for a separate model number or a separate option. They're all ductile and they're all heavy duty and they're all vandal proofed. All right. And we'll move around here. Again, here's some more backflow preventers. We keep them down here on the edges of the rack just to keep them out of the way. These are some 8-inch double checks. One's a Watts 757. The one behind it's an Ames 2000 SS. All right, we're kind of getting into where we do our backflow classes. These are the trees for it. These are our sample shells for the guys to come in and grab stuff. And hell, we even have a couple rooftop LG units here. So these are our, you know, less used parts that we don't keep on the main aisles. We got some ductile cleanout tops, open site, floor drain tops, our bigger floor drain tops for the FD100, 8-inch, some cleanout, wall cleanout ferrules, roof drain overflows for the smaller drains. The larger drains, of course, we'd have a whole crate full of those. Just some spare parts for the, remember I was telling you earlier where guys bust the ears off these from cranking on the bolts, so we keep a few extras. Here we have one of the stainless steel downspout covers, very nice. Again, here are our bigger area drain tops. As you can see, they're epoxy coated. Here's some of our smaller square ones. Now we're getting into the trench drain. I will tell you, if Watts does one thing right, it's the trench drain. It's called dead level. Most guys that use the poly type channels, they extrude the plastic. Watts does not. They use an injection mold. And what that does, it makes a better, straighter casting. So it's called dead level because I'm sure if you go to a gas station, you see 60 feet of this stuff, you'll see it doing this number. This stuff won't do that. It runs in a straight line. The other nice part of it is it's in feet. It's not in meters. It's easy for us to price. We give you a per foot price. It includes everything. I'm not sure how well you can see it. I'll pull it out here, but you don't have to use channel stands with this. These are this channel's of course upside down, but these are the ears, and you just run your standard rebar out on the job. I forget the number of it. And then that's what holds this up to keep it from floating in the pour. And of course they give you all the hardware for that. Again, in the per foot price, you get the end caps. And then in this trench drain, you actually, you know how most guys tell you to keep the grates out, and they put plywood in here to keep this from pinching in. Well, of course, you don't have to worry about it pinching in because you got this frame in here, and you can install the grates, and Watts gives you this nice grate cover to stick over the grates. And you can just leave it on there till the job's done. That way you don't have a bunch of guys throwing cigarettes and getting mud and everything else down into your trench before the building opens. You can just leave this right on after the pour and pull them up once you're releasing the building. So that's another nice aspect, and then you're not losing the grates either. What we keep here is the 6-inch wide. With 6-inch wide, you can have a ductile frame or a plastic frame. Just depends on the application. This stuff is Dash F rated with a ductile frame and a ductile grate. So you can run a 747 over it, bulldozers, whatever you want. They also have 12-inch versions of this, which we do not keep here. It comes out of the factory. We keep enough here, as you can see, you know, if it's an emergency 20-foot run or such, we can do it out of here. But most orders we just ship out of North Carolina. They almost always have it. I don't care if it's 400 feet. They usually have it sitting down there. And they get the orders out within 2 or 3 days. So most orders, especially the big ones, we just ship out of there. But we do keep some stuff here for the guy that needs a quick 8 feet. Like I say, if they do anything right, it's this. Get us to the closest foot. Tell us if you want an end outlet or center outlet, and we can get it taken care of. Every order will come out with a layout drawing, all the hardware, everything you need in a per foot price. So that's nice. I know when you get quotes from the other guys, they're channel chairs, is this. You're buying it by the channel. You got to specify what channel you want. All we care about is how many feet you want it, whether you want a center outlet or end outlet. We'll create one part number from that. Makes it easier for you, easier for the wholesaler to order it for you, and it alleviates a lot of errors. So, all right, so that's my little spiel on the trench drain. Oh yeah, we got our workbench over here. This is like we keep a lot of the tools where we do a lot of assembly on the drains and such. You'll see some more. These are the old style backflow preventers that are iron, but people still order them, so we keep them. All right, over here we're just getting into some more basic, you know, parts we don't pull as much. Here you can see this is a 15 by 15 nickel bronze area drain top. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out because I want to show you this, even though this joker's about 40 pounds. But let me get the plastic off it here. All right, this is a big thing. Skipper, can you run around there and get me that cast iron top, this one right? So, as you can see, if you order an area drain from us, yeah, just that one right there. Okay. So this is ductile iron. This is one we've torn apart just to show, but there we go. So, as you can see, this is a ductile, this is nickel. Most manufacturers I've ever seen, if you order an area drain top nickel, they weld a nickel bronze veneer on here, and then they screw a veneer onto the iron. So they've just taken a ductile top and created a nickel bronze one by welding a veneer here and screwing a veneer here. Well, as you can imagine, over time that's going to chip off. You know, some guy might come along and unscrew it just to scrap it, blah, blah, blah. It makes for a big mess. Watts makes solid bronze, nickel bronze tops. This is all bronze. So I've never seen that before I started working with this, and that's nice. And as you can see me picking it up, it's got some serious weight to it. So that's a nice feature of the watch drains for the area drains. All right. I think some others have come out with this since, but we have no hub downspout nozzles, but we also have push on, which is nice. I think we were the only ones with it for a while. I think I've seen some other people copy it now. So we can do these traditional thread, we can do them no hub, or we can do them push for most sizes. Here we got some just extra lav arms in case people lose them on the job or what have you. Your typical funnels. This is what our hydrant box looks like. This is the standard nickel. We also have them in stainless steel if you want. This is what the standard hydrant looks like. So whether you can put it in the wall as such or with the box, either way. I like it. It's a nice heavy unit. They are not quarter turn, however, they're full turn, but we don't get too many callbacks on them. It's nice and heavy. We got some of the extra nipples in case people lose them on the job. Another thing I should mention is the standard nipple with that care is 8 inches. We also have them 12 and 24 if needed. And then just as a side light, we do keep threaded nipples here for other people's carriers because guys are always looking to replace other manufacturers' nipples. So I just keep them here for when I got a guy needs 2 or 3 for like a Zern or Smith or something like that. Vertical backwater valve, 2, 3, and 4 inch, typical stuff. I do want to show you one more thing over here, and that'll pretty much do it. Everything else in here is other manufacturer related. We got some Guardian up there, some Watts regulator over here I think he's panning on. But as far as drains, you've pretty much seen it, but I did want to show you this one other thing. We sell a ton of these. It's really kind of nifty. Basically, we've created a kit. So if you pull a water closet off the wall, we have all your rough trim, your bearing nuts and steel washers, a new outlet gasket, and a new set of chrome nuts. So if you ever go out on a job and there's a leak behind the wall or whatever, and you want to put new hardware on the rods in a new gasket, this is a nice, we call this an F1W. We sell a ton of these, so this is a neat little thing. It's not overly expensive. So if you're pulling a lot of wall hung stuff off the wall, it's a good kit to have. And I guess that basically does it.